Yeah, hi. So I want to talk today about creating an asymmetrical design using grays. And I'm going to use the new Adobe Capture. Now it's an app, and you can see that pink eyeball there, right? I'm going to open that up. This is a new app from Adobe, and it's a mobile app. And you can see at the top, what it has is you can create palettes, you can create shapes, you can create brushes, and you can create looks for video and things. I'm just showing you, what it looks like on my phone here. And what I want to do is I want to create, I really love this. I'm going to use the Shapes app to capture some shapes. They're going to be vector shapes. They're going to be black and white line art vector shapes from a photograph. And I'm going to use that to make my asymmetrical design because I'm really excited about that. So, and you can see I have already just started experimenting with this. I did some selfies. I took a picture of a banana, and since I'm doing abstractions, I am going to just here quickly do. I'm going to take a picture of something. Now I've got a glass of water down here. Okay, I was thinking maybe I would just record the cup, or even this. I've got this photograph of my brother, right? So what happens is when you go to record, do you see there's a little slider down at the bottom here? Okay, I'm going to adjust that slider so that you can see some green showing up. Wherever the green is, that's going to turn black. Okay, so let me give you an example. I am going to focus in here on this photograph, and I'm going to adjust the green so it gets the eyes and the mouth. And again, I'm working abstractly, so it doesn't really matter too much if it looks like the photograph. And there's my abstract shape, right? For the sake of time, let me capture that. Now, the cool thing is I'm going to hit next. It's going to be drawing the curves. It's creating that shape, okay, that abstract portrait. I hit next. And the beautiful thing is it says Save Shape. Now, when I hit Save Shape, it's going to save it into my library, okay? My library in Photoshop. The beautiful thing about the new Adobe updates and the new things coming out is everything's about working from mobile, and no matter what platform, what device you're working on, it will save it in a shared library in the cloud. So you can see here that it has basically saved that. And I'm going to drag that over. Now, I'm going to place it. It's a vector shape, and I can have it go outside of the frame. Again, this is I'm going to be doing an asymmetry assignment, but there is my shape that I just captured. Okay, let me think. I mean, I could continue. I could continue maybe photographing some things and bringing in a library of shapes like, let me see. I mean, I did a banana. I don't know if I want to put a banana in there, but let me just show you what it looks like. I did this picture of a banana. So let me put a banana next to my brother's head. Banana head. Okay. Now, for the sake of this assignment, remember, it's asymmetry. You want it to be thrusting, movement, off center. I mean, balanced, but but not in a formal way. Okay, you don't want it to be like a bank or an institution that's grounded, that has pillows on either side. You want this to be off kilter and moving around like a pinball machine composition, right? So, what I want to do is I want to have like at least 3 elements in there, right? I think for the sake of this. I've got some brushes in here that I created using this new app. It's just fantastic. Let me bring in the dining room. I shot the dining room as well, right? Last night, and it just made this really cool line art kind of a thing. Okay, so here I've already got the makings of what I need for a composition. Now let me go over to the layers palette, and you can see here's my frame, okay, that they've given us for the assignment for a template. Here's the banana, here's the dining room, and here's my brother's face. Okay, so I might want to I don't know, it's getting really cluttered, right? Like I kind of like the banana in my brother's head. So let me just, you know, if I'm thinking about asymmetry, I'm thinking about diagonals maybe, and oh, let me think. Okay, I'm going to do a quick one and imagine that I've been working on this for a few hours. But basically I'm going to juxtapose or use the bananas as kind of this dueling bananas kind of look here next to this. Now, where's the focal point? Okay, I can copy. Remember, I can hit my V on my keyboard, and I can hit the Option key on the Mac, and I can copy that over, and I'm gonna basically resize this down. Okay, I'm just for the sake of, you know, thinking how I want you to be thinking about the assignment. Overlapping for depth, you know, scale, movement, you know, where could my focal point be? I'll talk about the rule of thirds, you know, coming up, but there are certain places where as the eye moves in and then around these areas, I want it to stop at a certain point. Okay, now let's talk about value finally for the last thing. And keep in mind that these are all vector shapes. Okay, they're not raster shapes, so they go by the same rules. But I'm not going to be cutting into these. I'm just going to be changing the opacity. So to change the opacity on the Mac, and I don't know about the PC, I just know the Mac, but I can hit the numbers at the top of my keyboard, and I can make something 10%. Right, I'm on the layer I want because I selected it with the Move tool, and I'll select layer, and I can start changing the number of grays in here, right? So I can use that as a device to develop depth and to move the eye around. If you have everything at 100%, right, everything's flat. It's like bugs on a windshield, okay? Just smack right in front of your face, all on the same level. But if I start moving things back a little bit and seeing how that affects the composition, okay, I generally go for big, medium, and small shapes in a dynamic, off-center, kiltered, kind of off-kiltered, you know, composition that addresses the edges. I mean, I have a formula for what works for me in terms of just creating some of these. And so, you know, I have to decide just how big I want these things, how small. I've got a big, medium, and small shape. I've got something that, you know, I could use as a focal point now, and so now it's just a matter of, do I want my focal point to be something way in the background, and where the eye comes in and around and moves and then goes way in the back to see this, right? I can play with my values. Okay, now look, I don't want to take a huge amount of time making this tutorial. There are things I might want to consider, okay, if it were me, if I had more time. I would consider maybe playing with the negative space. Okay, hold on. This, hold this, hold this, hold this, hold this. Nope, okay, so that's not working for me. Hold on a second. I was having to figure out this template. Okay, so I'm going to add, I want to throw a little subdivision in there real quickly. I'm going to add a layer, and I am going to fill it with white. Okay, and then I am going to create a shape. All right, and I am going to do something that's, I just want to subdivide this space so things aren't just floating around in white, just to see what it looks like. Now I'm going to fill it with black. Since these are all grayscale, you can't see things there, so I'm going to change the opacity a little bit, right? And then just see if I kind of like what's going on with that subdivision. You know, like right now, I'm not wild about it. I think I might play around with some of those elements, a geometric element, something maybe to develop the focal point, you know, a little bit. I might come down here and play with that. And remember, I can also copy that, right? Option, and I can spin it, right? In case I wanted to even do something, you know, like that. Very light. Let's see if I can bring this one up. And add a little bit of subdivision into this composition. You know, subdividing the space, the composition, foreground, midground, background, large, medium, small shapes, movement, addressing the edges. But anyway, I wanted to share this technique with you because I was really excited to start working on using the mobile app, using my phone as a capture device, and also having all of those things shared with me in my libraries. And that includes palettes that I can capture from my environment. That includes brushes, which is a whole nother tutorial that I can capture with my photographs. But I thought these shapes might make you a little bit more excited about some of the compositions we're creating in class.